but his body is yet to be put to rest. This is as a result of misunderstandings between the family and the government on how and where he should be buried. This has led to a court action in Pretoria, with the judges ruling that Mr. Lungu should be buried in Zambia. Just when everyone thought the end had come to the 2 months long standoff, the family appealed the judgment late Friday afternoon, leading to further uncertainty over the burial of the former president. My guest tonight is government's chief legal advisor, the Attorney General, Mulilo Kabesha. You can participate in the program by calling us on 25 30 25 or leaving us a message on our Facebook page, Zambias Today. Mr. Kabesha, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you.
And thank you very much, our listeners and viewers, for taking time to sit in and hear what we have to share with you.
I hope you've taken enough rest after the trial.
No, I haven't. I had other issues also to do back home here.
Let's go straight to the court issue in South Africa. On Friday, the courts ruled in favor of the state. But late in the afternoon or evening, it emerged that there was an appeal from the family. Let's begin from there. Have you or your lawyers received the appeal notice?
Yes, thank you very much. Our lawyers, yes, have received the documents because South Africa, I think, they use mostly online filing in court. So our lawyers are aware that they filed an application for leave to appeal. They have not filed an appeal. I've heard people saying they have filed an appeal. They have filed leave to appeal. They are making an application for leave to appeal. Leave to appeal is a request to the court. Please allow us to appeal. The court will decide whether that leave or that application or that request has been granted. The court will consider that. And when the court gives them leave to appeal, then they can file the appeal.
Now, did you anticipate that the family was going to appeal?
Yes, yes, we did. We did anticipate that because they indicated, even before judgment, they indicated, they whispered to our lawyers that they intend to appeal. It's like they knew that they had not done a good job in the arguments before judgment was given.
Now, have you read the contents of the appeal? What are the main issues in there?
I've read the contents of the leave to appeal. The many issues, they are saying the court made a mistake. I'm trying to avoid to use legal language because I want the nation to understand. They said that the court shouldn't have allowed those reliefs we sought, that the remains of our late president should be repatriated to Zambia and buried at Embassy Park. They said that was wrong. Also, looking at the law, conflict of laws. Should we use the Zambian law, the Kaweche Kaunda case, or should we restrict ourselves to the South African law? And the court made it very clear in the judgment. It's very simple and straightforward that they have appealed against. They have also appealed against that it was not agreed that the president, the current president, President Hakainde Hichilema, should not attend in the proceedings of the burial. So they have appealed that the court shouldn't have said the president can attend. That was, according to them, that was not in the initial reliefs being sought. And so that they are saying the court went beyond what was expected of them to say. And there are many. They have put about 17. There are 17 issues they are raising. And
quite a number of them pre-June 18th issues.
Yes, yes. Pre-June issues. What was
one of them is that the court erred by considering what you discussed with them as an agreement.
Yes. They said that agreement was not final. They were still to be consulted. So the court, according to them, that the court was wrong to say that there was an agreement when they had not finalized. And the issues which came in the program, which was prepared, that there are issues which were added, which were not agreed, and that they had not been consulted. And they are blaming the court, that the court made a mistake by saying that that was an agreed arrangement.
On the other hand, blaming you for pushing that agenda that
no,
was
they
agreed.
Are not blaming me
when eventually,
for now.
When actually there was that line that you would continue consulting on various issues.
Yes, but for now, they are not blaming the government, they are blaming the court, because they are saying the court shouldn't have taken that direction in its judgment.
The court was basing its judgment on your submissions.
Yeah, I think we made sense what we were submitting before the court, and that's why the court has accepted what we asked. The court has accepted because it made sense.
Now let's look at this issue. Too many interpretations. I mean, I guess too many lawyers, probably on the Facebook and on the streets. People say the appeal did not act as a stay on the earlier judgment, while others said, well, the notice in South Africa indicates it acts as an appeal.
Yeah.
What is the correct position?
Thank you. What I want our listeners, our viewers to know is that there is no appeal. Okay? Don't talk so much about appeal. There is no appeal. What is there is an application for permission
to appeal.
Okay? So there is no stay. Yes, there is no stay. There is supposed to be an order to stay, but according to the South African law, when you file an appeal, then you suspend. And these are issues where lawyers sometimes they say, fine, we'll not proceed. Let's wait. And mind you, it was filed on Friday, about 16 hours. And so we are waiting for Monday. Maybe then the court will be able to give directions as what should happen next. Or the court can decide to dismiss the application without even listening from our side.
Does the application act as a stay?
No, it doesn't. But according to the South African law, if there is an appeal, then all the processes are suspended until the appeal is heard.
To that now, maybe we should add a rider. After that judgment, in whose hands is the body of Mr. Lungu?
Well,
because I know the court did direct that the family should hand over the body to a representative of the government.
Yes.
In that case, the High Commission?
Yes. The body, as we talk now, it's still in the hands of the parlor where it had been. It hasn't yet been moved. It hasn't yet been handed over to the Zambian High Commission. It's still with the 8th respondent.
Did you make a move to try and retrieve it?
We tried to make that move, but when we heard that they had filed, we were just notified by the respondents' lawyers that they had filed. They were calling it an appeal, and so we thought it was an appeal. But later, when we saw the documents, we realized that this was an application for leave to appeal. And so, as at that time, we are decent. We just thought, let's hear what the court will be saying on Monday.
And after that?
After that, then we'll know what to do. And we'll be looking at, if at all the leave will be granted, then we'll attack it if we don't see any reasonableness in it. Okay.
Now, let's look at the main issues in the case that was decided upon on Friday. What were the issues that you were pushing as the state?
Maybe I should give a background, what made the state to sue or to take action. When our president, Edgar Lungu, passed on 5th June 2025, family members made statements, and some politicians made statements, and then the government sent the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation with a team to go and deliver condolences to the family and also start making arrangements to bring the body to Zambia for further processes. Then negotiations started. I think they started talking about how the program will be. They had several meetings, and people will remember that even Vice President Kavindere had gone there. His Royal Highness Mumbi was there, and other people had gone there to help in the negotiations. The last minute, 18th June, the family changed its mind that they were not proceeding to have the body repatriated to Zambia. At that stage, people again attempted. Then the family went ahead and made the program to bury
in South Africa.
25th in South Africa. And for the government, especially myself, I saw that there was not going to be a good arrangement if they proceeded like that. Many Zambians would have loved to attend the funeral. Many Zambians would have loved to have the president, Edgar Lungu, buried here. Now, what was coming out explicitly from the family was that they can't trust government. Okay, if they can't trust government, what's the best arrangement? Is to stop the burial and have the family and the government start talking again. And that's how I proceeded to issue that process in the court in South Africa so that the parties can sit again and come to an amicable conclusion. And that's how on 24th June, I filed in the Pretoria court to suspend the burial so that parties can come together.
Again, you're accused of deliberately waiting up to the last minute.
No, but if you are hoping, mind you, it's not waiting at the last moment. Why did the family wait at the last moment? On the 18th June, the military were already at the airport. The red carpet had already been rolled, directing to the plane where the coffin will be pushed up to the plane. Then a message comes to say the family, they have said they are not going ahead to repatriate the body to Zambia. It's the last minute. That was the last minute on the 18th itself. There was no notice apart from saying we have changed our mind. So we thought maybe other people would talk, and I'm aware that other people went and were talking, but they had made up their mind. They have done the church program. They were proceeding with the burial on 25th June 2025. And 24th, that's how I proceeded to court and filed a motion to stop the burial. And so it was suspended. The court gave us the directions that we were to file. That was the first leg of the process. The second leg was now to ask the court to have the remains repatriated to Zambia, which we filed according to the direction of the court. We filed on the 4th. We filed our application. But before even filing, 27th June, I instructed our lawyers to write to the lawyers for the Lungu family that we are available for talking. Somewhere 28th, we were told, what is it that you want as government? He said, you are the people to give us. What is it that you want us to do as government? 29th June, we got a letter from the lawyers telling us that the First Lady, Esther Lungu, had gone for a retreat and that they will get back to us after she has concluded her retreat. They have never gotten back to us until we went to court on 4th August. We argued the matter, and we are here where we are. Even now.
So when you started off, your idea was a consent judgment. You were looking for a consent judgment.
Look, for me, when the complaint was that government could not be trusted.
Because you had pulled back on certain things that you'd agreed with.
That's what they allege. So for me, in my wisdom, if parties are not agreeing, if parties have stopped trusting each other, especially from the Lungu family, who are bereaved family, if they can't trust the government, what is the best arrangement? And I found that the best arrangement would be to go to court. To go to court in South Africa, it's very impartial, very independent of our emotions, very independent of our culture. They will look at the facts as they stand. So I thought that was the best. And for sure, even if you have been following my talking, there's no winner, there's no loser. We have gone to court. Whatever the court will tell us, we'll follow. We are not lawless. We'll follow what the court, we respect the law. We respect judgments.
But people saying, in some quarters are saying, the legal route is something you should have avoided to ensure that you discuss. Because then look, the bigger question others are asking that definitely you're saying there's no winner or loser. The court produces a winner and a loser. And in this case, the bigger question others are asking, now here's the big question being asked, and they're saying, what does government achieve by getting the body using the legal route without the family being happy? Others are even using the word grabbing the body, and and the family is saying, well, get it.
No, it's not grabbing it, but honestly speaking, maybe this is an issue Zambians should start thinking about. The moment you get into a certain position, you are no longer a private person. Even as simple as I am, as Attorney General, I would never entertain, I would never fantasize that I'm a private person. People have every right to insult me because of what I do. People
like they did on Friday?
As they did, yes, on Friday. Unfortunately, not even insulting me, but insulting my mother, Dinah, who is 104 years old. She's still living and still walking without a stick, but insulting her. But that's what I accepted, that people will insult, people will tell lies, people will do all things. I'm not private. So the moment we become leaders, national leaders, we are not private. So it's not that it's just our responsibility as government to make sure that that position the person held, it was not a family position. The President Lungu was elected in those 7 years he was our president. Were we not calling him father of the nation? Why should he now become father of his close family? He's still a father of the nation, even in his death. And so he deserves to be respected. He deserves to be given a dignified burial at the Embassy Park in the country where he was president. It may look funny now, it may look cruel now, but I think the children's children, grandchildren, if at all President Lungu will be buried in Zambia, those grandchildren will appreciate that this government did the best. If the court, as we proceed to appeals, if the court says President Lungu should be buried in South Africa, it will be a sad situation, but later in future, we will not like it as Zambians. How do we have our former president buried elsewhere? It doesn't make sense. It was asked in court. The judges asked, what was the wish of the President Lungu? The answer was categorical. His wish was to be buried in Zambia. So why do you want to bury him in South Africa? The answer was not straightforward. The answer from the lawyer was that because he's not a president anymore. The lady judge even asked, do you realize that this is a former president? He's not an ordinary person? The lawyer says, no, because his benefits were retrieved from him, so he's an ordinary person. I mean, the courts were not amused. Now, these are issues which we should take seriously. President Lungu, whether he didn't like, whether we liked him, whether we didn't accept that he was president for 7 years. And so, we have already a president. We have a value. Every now and then the president goes to parliament and talks about national values. What are our national values? What is the pride of Zambians? To have a president, a former president who is buried outside the country, what pride is that?
There's a concern here that the family still holds the argument that the former president was mistreated by the government before he died, that government showed no care for his welfare while he was alive. Now to ease tensions, maybe I should ask that. Is it going to be a sign of weakness for government to apologize or for government to engage?
No.
Is there room for dialogue?
No.
Have you discussed these issues in an open manner with the family?
Usually, when somebody dies, good talks are done after burial. Before burial, you can't start talking about how a person was mistreated. You do that after burial. In a Zambian culture, we talk of many things about a person who has left us after burial. If people want to say he was mistreated, by who? And unfortunately, they are referring to the current president. Now, surely, Zambians, do we have short memories? This current president, have we forgotten what he went through? If we go with the tenders of anything that happens, even if monkeys are eating your maize in the field, you refer it to the president as having eaten your maize. If that is true, have we forgotten that the current president had been in police cells about 15 times? There is no president on earth who went through what this current president went through. And since you like assigning everything that happens to a citizen in the country to the president, should we say that it's the late president who was smearing feces, dog feces, in the vehicle which was transferring or transporting the current president to the court there at the subordinate court complex near Chimbokaira? Chimbokaira has tunnels. Why was he being transported using a vehicle? The vehicle smeared with feces. Surely we want to pretend as Zambians that the current president mistreated Edgar Lungu. Let us be fair to this person. Let us be fair. We can't forget. Yes, people will forgive, but surely let's change the narrative. This narrative of saying President Edgar Lungu was mistreated. What was he mistreated about? There are things which were taken to court.
To court, yes.
Yeah,
we are part of the court documents.
We are part of the government. We can't say much, but the mistreatment allegations were taken to the court. The court has not accepted it. Why should we continue debating it outside the court? So to claim that there was a weak point where it was said that the President Lungu's benefits were grabbed from him. No, please. There is a law, former president's benefits, Act number 15 in this country. Please, if you can Google, look at it, look at section 4, it will tell you what the former president is entitled. And in section 5, it will tell you what denies or stops the former president getting benefits One of them, if the former president is given a job by the government and is getting a salary, he loses those former president's benefits. If the former president goes back to politics, and by going back to politics, it's by you appearing in the register at the Registrar of Society's office. When you print the schedule of who are members of this political party, who is the president, who is the secretary general, who is the treasurer, who are committee member or central committee, if you appear there, you lose your benefits. Or if you say, I've come back to politics, have we forgotten?
Are you selectively restoring the benefits by just saying now we're going to give you the funeral benefits?
The funeral benefits? No, the funeral benefits are given when you die because you are not participating in politics. It means the law comes back. The law resurrects your benefits. So you'll be entitled to funeral expenses. That's why the state is there to provide funeral expenses and funeral logistics.
You are free
it's
to
the law,
the program.
Please, let's follow the law. It's just the law. It has nothing whether you hate a person or whether you love him too much. It's the law. The law provides for that.
If you're watching us, you can join us by calling us on 25 30 25, 25 30 25, or you can drop us a message on our Facebook page, ZNBC Today. We started by saying, what were the many issues in the case that was decided on Friday? And you went into history. Now,
yes.
I wanted to look at those issues.
Yeah, the main issues were that what we asked as reliefs on behalf of the government was that President Edgar Lungu's remains should be repatriated or brought to Zambia, and that President Lungu should have a state funeral. State funeral, there are many protocols that are done. There will be 21 gun salute, whether it's 7 gun salute. The other presidents will come. If at all they want to come, they are invited. And I'm sure you have attended. Surely even ZAF planes will pass. Whoa! They will pass. And then people make speeches. And who will speak? Again, it's for the family and the government to decide who will speak. And then we bury. That's what we are asking. That we go and bury where all our 5 presidents, former presidents, are buried at Embassy Park. That's what we asked the court to adjudge. And that's what the court gave us. That take the body to Zambia, go and have the funeral there, and at Embassy Park. And that's what we got. The issue of the emphasis. Now, in law we say common cause. What is it that doesn't appear to be in dispute? What is not in dispute, even from the Lungu family, is that President Edgar Lungu must be brought to be buried here. The major contention, which the family for Lungu was emphasizing, is that the current president should not be near the casket. That is basically the major issue.
Main contention. Let's get in the corner.
Those who would want to negotiate, I think that's what they should just be looking at.
Focusing on.
Sure.
George from Kabwe, you're through the program. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Good evening, Attorney General.
Good evening, George.
This is Lennox George Galindi from Kabwe. I'm following the topic very closely. Now, I just want to know, Attorney General, supposing the South African law court says that President Lungu must be buried in South Africa, what will be the reaction of our Zambian government? 2, if they insist that our president should not attend the funeral, do you think you as Attorney General and the government will bar our president from attending? That's what I want to know.
Mr. Kalindi, thank you so much. AG.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kalindi. If the South African court says President Edgar Lungu should be buried in South Africa, for us, we don't have a problem. We respect the law. We respect law and order. Now, just like what has happened now, if you look at the application for leave, also when the courts are making a decision, you can't anticipate and you can't say, will not appeal. It depends on what the court says. Supposing the court says, yes, Edgar Lungu will be buried in South Africa, but the Zambian government should hire 3 planes to take mourners to South Africa. Are we going to accept that? Just like now, the family, yes, they respect the law, but there are things they feel they are not good for them. That's why they have appealed. So usually lawyers, a good lawyer will not tell you, will not appeal, because you don't know what the judge will say. So it depends on how the judgment comes. The second one is, can the court stop the current president from attending the funeral, if it's called a state funeral? The court made it very clear when we were in court. They even asked the other side. The issues about who has to attend the funeral, whether the president should be near the casket. Why don't you go to the Zambian court? The Zambian court can give an order what should happen. So
they actually stated that they did not have the power to bar a president of another country to attend a state funeral.
They have no jurisdiction.
So that is probably
they have no jurisdiction over what happens here. It's just, they even use the word policy. We have seen that the Zambian policy, that's what we should learn also, that policies are respected. I think even in the Zambian jurisdiction, the courts have pronounced themselves on policies. For example, the policy on the presidential housing initiative. The courts have said, this is a policy, and they have recognized that. In the South African court, they also use the policy, that the policy for the Zambian citizens or the Zambian government is that former presidents should be buried at Embassy Park.
With the state funeral. There's a call on the line, Mr. Atembo from Lusaka. Sir, you're through the program. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, boss.
This is Atembo, often commonly known as HH. For me, I've been following the program attentively, but one thing that I want to put is that the Edgar Lungu family, they have lost a relative, a father and a grandfather, or whatsoever, etc. And lost our former president, who was even the president to President Daka now. So people shouldn't be mocking about this former president, Republican president. There is no human being in Zambia who can be happy about this. I like the way the Attorney General addressed the media immediately after the ruling, where he said they are grieving, forgive them for what they are saying. Let's just focus on what we are doing. And that shows leadership for me. And those are insults that you as leaders, including the president, you should accept. Because those positions, they demand for such situations and those insults at times. So please try to unite the nation. No one is going to be happy if the ruling goes the government way, or ruling goes the other side. We can't be happy about it.
Thank you so much.
Dignity and where others have been buried. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Atembo. Do you want to react to that?
That was just a comment. Those are his views. It's not a question.
Now, maybe people will still want to understand from you. Come Monday, the application is not entertained, or maybe any other day, the appeal is lost. How does the government move? Are you moving with a tone of reconciliation and discussion with the family? Are you moving swiftly with force to remove the body from South Africa?
No, we are not like that. Even before Monday, even in tonight, we are ready as government to discuss with the family. We will never ignore the family unless the family just walks out. We will never ignore the family. We will talk to the family. We will be consulting the family. But the family has a right to say, we are not coming, we are not part of it. Then we'll proceed and bury without them. But we can't do that. We will always want to sit and consult the family. But they can decide. You know, families also can, with what we are going through, the family can say we are not part of it. Yeah, but he's the head of state, former head of state. He can still be buried.
We've got Joseph from Lusaka. Joseph, go ahead and ask your question. Joseph, you're through to the program. Well, we seem to have lost Joseph there. Now, I was saying, is government ready to cede some space and accommodate the demands that were earlier put forward by the family?
We have always been ready as government. We have always been ready, and we have always asked some people, and some people have come to ask whether they can go and talk to the family. Several people have gone. Several people have talked to the family. But the family doesn't appear to move an inch. And that's why we ended up even in court. It took a month before we went to appear and make arguments before the court. All that period, we are waiting to talk. All that period, people have been talking to the family. But the issue has been the same from the family. So we thought maybe when the court comes up with a judgment, the family will respect it and go with what the court would have said. Mm-hmm. The court is independent, it has no interest. It's a South African court. I'm sure if it was a Zambian court, maybe there could have been allegations of something else. But that is a court that is independent. There were 3 judges. The judgment is a unanimous judgment. For us who are lawyers, we know what it means. If it's a unanimous judgment, there was no dissenting judge.
No dissenting judge.
All judges, all the 3 judges agreed what was said in that straightforward judgment.
We've got Edgar Daka from Luansha. Edgar, go ahead and ask your question.
Good evening, AG, Honorable Kabesha.
Good evening, Mr. Daka.
Yes, I have a question. In the event that the family insists that they are ready to bring the body, but the president must not be near, we are told by according to the demands or the wishes of the family, are you going ahead to bury against the wishes of the family? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Daka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daka. Look, it's not for me to say that the president shouldn't attend, the president should attend. I think that those are issues which will come later. The secretary to the cabinet is the one who organizes state funerals, and maybe what you should be looking at, what is a state funeral? And the emphasis, I don't know, maybe they have their own ideas. I don't know. So what is so bad about coming near the casket? And presidents, they don't even come near the casket. Maybe when there is body viewing. I mean, we have gone to funerals where these are not even presidents. Common people, they have said there is no body viewing. And people have accepted that. So what's so special about that casket? What is the mystery about the president not being near the casket? Maybe they should just be they should open up. Maybe we should be able to understand them.
It's something they've not shared.
They have not shared with anyone. If we knew what will happen, then maybe we can we can warn the president not to go near. We don't know. What's so special about not being near the casket? They are emphasizing so much. It shouldn't be near the casket. Do they really know that people have attended funerals virtually? Do they know that?
Is that a possibility?
Why can't they just say, okay, we'll bury at the Embassy Park, but funeral will be virtual? If they fear that when the president goes near the casket, maybe something will happen. Surely, are they not interrogating? We thought people who are negotiating with them, some of these issues which they are demanding, maybe they should come and tell us that the reason why we don't want the president to be near the casket, it's ABCD. Maybe it will make sense to some of us. But as we are now, at first we were thinking, when somebody is mourning, you don't look at their mouths, how they are twisting their mouths, how they are exposing their tongue. That's what we were thinking, that they can say anything. They are mourning.
But do you think now they've stopped mourning?
They are still mourning.
Let's get in a caller. Terry from Lusaka. Terry, go ahead and ask your question.
Good evening, Attorney General, and good evening.
Good evening, boss.
Of the program. Good evening. My name is Kerry. I've got a question to the Attorney General, and I've got a recommendation to the Lungu family, and I'm pretty sure that they're listening tonight to the program that is being held right now. My question to the Attorney General is, will it be possible from your side, from the side of the government, for you to consider one or two demands that the Lungu family has made? And one of the demands that we know as a country is that they are asking for some of the charges against them be dropped. We do know as a country and as a republic that this has been demanded on the list of the things that they've requested. Will it be possible, for the sake of reconciliation, that you consider that for the sake of peace, for the sake that Mr. Edgar Lungu is our late president, is it possible enough from your side as a government to, should I say, pardon them or listen to them, even for the sake of going forward in the future? That's my number one. Number two, my request goes to the Lungu family. Is it possible for the Lungu family, I know you are hearing us making this recommendation on the television, national television, is it possible for you people, the Lungu family, to use this as an opportunity to reconcile with your government? Whether we like it or not, we all need to sit down. You need to sit down with the government, and the government needs to sit down with you. So that's my recommendation to the Lungu family.
Okay? Kerry, thank you so much for coming through. I know this first question, the family's lawyer did say there was no such a demand. Do you have it on record?
Yes, there was no such a demand. Thank you very much, our last caller. There was no such a demand. They have never brought it to the government's attention that they would want to look at those issues. But the advice is giving to the Lungu family. Look, I don't know what culture this is. Issues to do with whatever, the estate, whatever. In some funerals, even at the graveyard, they will announce, please, those who have got debts with the deceased, those who are owed money or who owe money to the deceased, you see us after in somebody amfwa. After, if you are Tongas, you say after Rubeta. You sit as a family. those other issues, if there are cases, if this person who has died had cases, you sit after burial. You don't use those issues as a carrot. You sit after the burial.
Which they've not done.
They have not done.
They've not used it as a carrot.
No, they haven't. Yeah. They haven't. Because I'm sure they are aware that if there are issues, they could have brought them after burial. Usually it's at the funeral, even at the graveyard, you can whisper, sir, after burial, can we come and see you? Oh, yes, sure. I think the last caller has hit it on the nail. These issues are discussed after burial.
We've got Simon. We can get him maybe as our last call as we try to wind down. Simon, are you still on the line?
Yes, please.
Go ahead and ask your question. Please be brief.
Good evening, Kruvazi, and good evening, AG.
Good evening, Simon.
Okay. Thank you. My contribution, I like the way the government of Zambia has taken this issue to try and resolve, probably to bring peace in our nation. My question to the AG, did the Lungu family put it on record as their demand to why they don't want our president to attend the funeral? That is my question, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simon.
Thank you very much, Simon. When we go to court, for me, I went to court. For me, I rely on what is on record. And there were affidavits which I saw, which I filed. There were also affidavits from the Lungu family. There's no reason whatsoever as to why they are saying the president, the current president, should not attend, should not come near the coffin. And this is what I said even earlier. There is no reason, and that's why I'm pleading, if there's a reason, maybe let us know. And since it's me who is in court, let them write me a letter to say why we don't want the president, the current president, to be near the casket is A, B, C, D. Maybe it will make sense to me. Maybe I will realize that, okay, it's a genuine reason. But you can't just say, you must give reasons. Mind you, this is a precedent we are setting for the future president. Even Grevazio, when you become a president, there's a precedent now. We have presidents, 5 presidents are buried at Embassy Park. We have a president, it even went to court, the Kaunda case, Kaweche Kaunda. We have a president. The court said public interest overrides private interest. When somebody is a president, is not a private person. He's a public figure, and he must be given state funeral. Everything that goes with the state funeral should be there. So we want to set a precedent. Let them give us reasons why the current president should not go near the casket. And who has told them that he wants to be near the casket anyway? Who has told them that he wants to be near the casket? If they want to say he shouldn't see the body, but who has told them that he wants to see the body? Why these speculations?
Maybe it's because you're arguing that really this must happen. Maybe that's why
it's assumptions. Even the court was asking them, presiding. The court was asking. Their lawyer couldn't explain. Presiding. You yourselves, in your written notes, you were saying Bishop Arik Banda should preside. So why are you now saying the president will preside? You yourselves. So what is presiding? They couldn't explain what presiding is. Can somebody preside virtually? Yes. A person can preside virtually. I've presided over meetings myself, virtually. If I come near a sofa, if I come near a fridge, virtually. I've addressed the United Nations, virtually. I'm seated at Minister of Justice in my office. They have ticked, I've attended. So let them be clear of their demand.
Exactly,
Yes.
Now, maybe as we close, 2 questions here. One, do we have plans to ensure that law is watertight and we don't have these things in future? Again, we start fighting. Then 2, what is the way forward now and after the appeal?
Thank you very much. Now, for lawyers, they change the law or they come up with a law when there is what we call mischief. So what is the mischief? The mischief now, the law, not necessarily whether the president should have a state funeral or whether the president should be buried at Embassy Park. I think the law, even on people who aspire to be presidents, we must look at those forms, the nomination forms. What is it that you must bind yourself to? Then when you become president, you want to start doing other things. Or maybe when you die, your relatives want to do other things. I think for lawyers who ask, who interrogate and ask interactions with the Law Association of Zambia, and maybe we look at it. But for now, let's see how the barrier will be. What is the way forward after Monday or the appeal? We can't know what the way forward, but what I want to encourage is that the family and the government, I'm not part of the negotiators, I'm not part of the negotiating, I just wait to hear what the negotiators would do. I would still want to encourage, and I think the government is open to encourage dialogue. We emphasize dialogue. Let the family, for the Lungu family, and also let us identify in our family who are humble people, who are talkative, and who are too emotional. You don't go to discuss issues when you are emotional. You can't negotiate with anyone when you are emotional. But I also want to ask the Zambians where we are. What has happened? Zambians are not asking themselves, supposing President Lungu had died in Mainasoko, supposing President Lungu had died in any hospital in this country, with this kind of issues we are going through, what would have happened if President Lungu had been evacuated by the government? These are issues Zambians are not even alive to. Mind you, when President Lungu died, there was a statement from some person that he has been poisoned. Now imagine President
died
Lungu
in a government hospital.
Had died in a government hospital.
I'll have to cut you. I have to leave. Thank you so much for coming.
That's a question for thought.
You've been watching Sunday Interview, and our guest this evening was the Attorney General, Mr. Mulilo Kabesha. We'll be back next week. Sometime. Pleasant viewing.